What's up, everybody? So this video is going to be a little bit different. I'm going to talk about making a murderer and convicting a murderer, but it's going to be off the cuff. I'm just going to talk about things that I've seen online, things that I've seen in Convicting a Murderer, and just questions that I get asked fairly often. Now, without a doubt, the biggest question I get asked about convicting a murderer, and it may surprise you, and I get asked this probably, no joke, 25 times a day, whether it's in my DMs, whether it's replies on YouTube or Twitter. It is constant, and I don't mind answering it over and over and over again, but I find it weird that they're coming to me to figure out how to watch it. It tells me, and I have no idea if this is true or not, but it tells me that if they're coming to me to figure out how to watch Convicting a Murderer, somebody at Daily Wire Plus is dropping the ball when advertising the show. Or maybe people just have absolutely no idea what Daily Wire Plus is and see it advertised in the documentary and just don't know what it is. But the way you watch Convicting a Murderer is on Daily Wire Plus. It is a streaming service. Now, and the other question I get is I'm not paying $144 a month for this service to watch one show. And I totally get that. Again, I don't know if it's different in the United States or other parts of the world. I'm in Canada. And I signed up for a subscription with the Daily Wire Plus so I could watch Convicting a Murderer, and it's only $14. You can pay monthly, $14, and cancel anytime. Just like most other streaming services out there like Netflix. They have a monthly service. Now, I don't know if maybe this isn't available in the United States or other parts of the world, but where I am, it's $14 a month. There's no lump sum payment. It's just $14. You pay monthly. You cancel, your subscription runs out at the end of the month. It's just like that. So I don't mind spending the $14 to check out this series. So now we're going to get into some things about Convicting a Murderer. I just got tweeted this last night, early this morning. It is from Mystic Jinx. They are an absolute treasure to the Making a Murderer community. I will link their Twitter in the description below. Go give them a follow. Also give me a follow at Allegedly a Show on Twitter. I will link that as well. Everybody that knows anything about the case knows that the key was allegedly found on November the 8th, 2005. But they posted this, and I will put it up on the screen for you. It states here that on November the 7th, 2005, Deputy Dan Kucharski continued the search of the defendant's bedroom located at 12932 Avery Road, town of Gibson, Manitowoc County, Wisconsin. The deputy located a Toyota ignition key adjacent to furniture found within the bedroom of the defendant, Stephen Avery. It is informed that the key located in the bedroom of Stephen Avery's residence was successfully used in the ignition of the Toyota RAV4 owned by Teresa Halbach. The key successfully turned the ignition of Teresa Halbach's vehicle. So it's stating that this key was found the day before James Lank and Andrew Colburn allegedly found the key falling out of the bookshelf as they twisted it around to do some investigating in Stephen Avery's bedroom. But they say that that was done on the 8th, and it states here that Deputy Dan found it on November the 7th, the day before. So what is true? Was it found on the 8th? Was it found on the 7th? More inaccuracies in the story, which there's a ton of them. And I got messaged this by Ryan Schaefer a couple of hours ago, and he sends an interview with Candace Owens on a podcast. It states here, Convicting a Murderer, Candace Owens discusses her groundbreaking documentary and its valuetainment short clips on YouTube. I haven't watched it yet, but he states, he sent this to me in case I wanted more footage of Candace Owens getting stuff wrong. And of course I want more stuff of people getting stuff wrong on the case. It states that she tells PBD that Teresa was 22 when she was murdered. He states that it's not a huge deal, but I feel like if someone is going to promote and put her name on this documentary that she had nothing to do with when it was made years ago, she should probably know how old the victim on the case was. Absolutely, I agree 100%. If you're going to put, it doesn't matter how big or how small the inaccuracies are in the case. Like she stated that Stephen Avery was in prison the first time in 1985 for murder, that he was wrongfully convicted for murder in 1985. Clearly she was wrong. Penny was not murdered. She's gotten a few other things wrong over time as well. Again, this isn't a big thing. Stating that Teresa was 22 years old, but it's still inaccuracies. She should have someone checking these facts before she goes on air. I'm going to steal this line again, and I love it. Candace Owens, your fact checker needs a fact checker, and if you don't have a fact checker, you definitely need to get a fact checker. So many things that you have been stating have been inaccurate about the case. Either you don't care because you've already gotten paid, or you just don't care about the case in general. If you're doing it for the money, that is absolutely fine. Most people out there do things for the money. But just state you've done it for the money. You haven't done your research. It's fine. Just admit it. If you have done your research, why are you getting so much stuff wrong? It's just bizarre to me. So, and that's another thing. A lot of people assume that this is a Candace Owens project. It is not. This series was developed, created by Sean Reck and his team. They sold it, and that was done years ago. They sold it to Daily Wire, and then they inserted Candace Owens as the host. Candace Owens had absolutely nothing to do with the making of Convicting a Murderer. When Candace Owens got attached to the project, they went out and did some more shoots, did some more video shoots with Candace Owens, and then inserted them into the project, which isn't an unnormal thing. That happens all of the time. But there's a ton of people out there. Oh, Candace, because she's stating it. This is Candace Owens' new documentary, like that video. Candace Owens' new groundbreaking documentary. Candace Owens had absolutely nothing to do with this, other than she's extremely popular. The Daily Wire bought the rights to air the documentary, and then they inserted one of their most popular hosts into the doc to get as many eyes on it as possible so they could recoup the money, whatever amount of money they spent on the doc, and get that back. That is not an unnormal thing to do. It happens all the time. But this is not Candace Owens' documentary. This is just something that the Daily Wire bought and then inserted Candace Owens as the host. Well, yesterday I asked this question on my Twitter at Allegedly a Show. We are 5 episodes in of Convicting a Murderer. What has been the most shocking part of it for you so far? If there has been one, has there been any new information that you did not already know? Has it made you change your mind at all? What are your overall thoughts on this series so far? Pikachu states, my mind hasn't changed. Nothing they have said is new or mind-blowing. Only thing I appreciate about it is hearing the other side, but it still doesn't prove guilt to me. Just a bunch of runarounds, excuses that doesn't make sense. Lacey Thacker states, the most shocking, the lack of actual facts and direction this series took. I have not learned anything new. Reinforces my belief that the investigation and subsequent convictions are terribly flawed. Overall thoughts, this could have been a lot better. Links 4. Oh, I am convinced more than ever that the entire investigation was botched, made to fit, and flat out full of some of the worst liars I've ever encountered. And I was raised by 2 very, very bad liars. Jackie Lane Stefan states, I think episode 5 made me mad for some reason. Maybe it was just too many accusations and inaccuracies for one sitting, but what I didn't know is that Colburn was the receptionist and transferred calls. I guess I thought he was a CO working for Manitowoc. And then Links 4 is back again. I mean, I'm probably reading this out of order. They probably typed this one first. I'm getting that now. This is the first time I've done a video like this. I'm learning. I mean, I've learned all sorts of new info, not because of Sean Reck. The best part for me, watching and listening to everyone rip each episode to shreds. One positive, people are talking about this case, just not how Sean, Brenda, and Ken were hoping. Tuco Loco. Number one, no, I've not learned anything new at all. Number two, it's loaded with errors. Number three, it's all hearsay. Number four, it has solidified my stance on Brendan and Stephen's innocence. Number five, so far they have skipped key dates, i.e. the 7th and Cuss Road. There's still 5 episodes left, so there could be more. They could include that later. I'm just assuming. They accuse Ma'am of clever editing. Is Convicting a Murderer any different? Blonde to Bob, episode 5. In fact, all of the episodes are quite boring, to be honest. I don't even think they are going to get 2 months worth of my money. I'll probably be canceling it and not watching past my 1-month subscription. Clive Coolidge, not seeing anything attaining to Stephen's guilt, still waiting for proof of Teresa being scared to go to Stephen's home in episode 4. Richard, Ferri, Convicting a Murderer, has done an excellent job proving that Stephen Avery would make a terrible babysitter. They haven't disputed any of the planted evidence, though. From Rhonda SD, the blatant pleading of hearsay and rumors parading as facts, giving the likes of Earl, Candy, Andrew Colburn, Thomas Fassbender, and Ken Kratz a platform to expand lies. No attempt to investigate the anomalies in the evidence and narrative. Jackie Lane Stephen again. Candace needs to stop implying we're stupid. We know he's likely never going to get the $36 million if he won the case, but it would have likely been negotiable if he didn't need to hire very good defense attorneys to keep his life. That's the point. This next person states, I am actually most shocked that the producer appeared to be in possession of the license plates in the evidence. Is that not against the law? Were the license plates actually inside the box? Has she been allowed to take them out and look at them and handle them? I am stunned. Now, in the last episode, episode 5, they were talking about the license plates, and they showed Brenda staring down dramatically at a box on the table, wanting to get people to believe that the license plates from the RAV4 are actually in this box. Very clever editing. They did not show what was in the box. What's in the box, Brenda? They didn't show what was in the box in this episode. Maybe they will do in a future episode. It could just be more clever editing to get you to comment stuff like this. Even I made a comment about it as well. I think I talked about it in a previous video. They want you to believe that the license plates are in that box, but there's no telling what's in that box. It could have absolutely nothing to do with anything. It could be something else you ordered from Amazon. Who knows? But if the license plates are in that box, it's extremely interesting, and I do want to see what's in the box. You got me thinking and wondering, what is in the box, Brenda? Brenda, the producer. Flipper states, I worked in the same courthouse as Ken Kratz. He was a dirty, not so nice person and made the social workers cry over drinks. That is not cool. And then Thomas says, dog. Gary Buting tweeted out this in response to what Mystic Jinx said about the key being found on the 7th. You remember, like, in the first season of Making a Murderer, they talk about, like, aliens or something doing stuff during the trial. Jerry Buting states, maybe the aliens who planted the key altered the cops' memories too. Meaning that he got the date wrong. It was the 7th, not the 8th, or it was the 8th, not the 7th. Either way, pretty funny. Love Jerry Buting. He's so witty, he's so quick. And actually, for real, Jerry, thanks for always, like, tweeting out stuff that I post, commenting on stuff that I post, directing people to my videos. I cannot appreciate what you do anymore, because you don't have to do any of it, and you're so helpful and so kind, so thank you so much. But yeah, so that's the video. That's my off-the-cuff talking about Convicting a Murderer, Making a Murderer. What do you think of the series so far? Let me know. Leave some comments below. I hope you're having a good day, and I will see you again soon.